Okay, ji. Lecture number 3, permutation combination. So, in the first two lectures, what we did was we made sure that we cover the normal permutation combination. We discussed about selection and arrangement. Then we discussed how do we use factorial and the C. And then we started off with case 1. Those were non-repeated alphabets. Moving on from case 1, in the same case 1, we understood block method and gap method. Then we moved on to permutation combination lecture 2, continuation of case 1, and then we started off with case 2 of simple selection. We made sure that we complete the simple selection techniques. Now moving on to lecture number 3 and case number 3 as well. So, your case 3 is team member selection. Now, when I say team member selection, let's say that we have 6 men and 4 women. 6 men and 4 women. Number 1, select a team of 4 people without any restriction. Now you need to understand that still the question is without any restriction, and it's just about the selection at the moment. Knowing the fact that we have 6 men and 4 women, so in total we have 10 people. And from those 10 people, what we are trying to do is we are trying to select a team of 4. So it's just about selection. So the answer would be 10C4, which will be 210. But similarly, now you need to understand that how this 10C4 is taking place with 6 men and 4 women. Since we only need 4 people. So let's say that your first option is we can have 4 men and 0 women. There's a possibility of having all the 4 men since there is no restriction, right? So there's a possibility that we might end up having 4 men, or we can have 3 men and 1 woman, or we can have 2 men and 2 women. We can have 1 man and 3 women, or we can have 0 men and 4 women. So that means we have 5 different options here, starting from 4 men, 0 women, 3 men, 1 woman, 2 men, 2 women, 1 man, 3 women, 0 men, 4 women. Now, when we just think about this, then we think about that entire options are basically what? 10C4. Entire option is basically representing what? 10C4. That means 10C4 we already knew was 210. 10C4 was 210. But this 10C4 comprises of the entire options. Now that means 4 men, 0 women, 3 men, 1 woman, 2 men, 2 women, 1 man, 3 women, 0 men, 4 women. Now let's just move on to that how are we going to find 4 men and 0 women? We knew that we ever had 6 men and we knew that we had 4 women. So considering that data, so that means there should be 4 men, 0 women. So this should be 6C4 multiplied by 4C0. 6C4 means we took out 4 out of 6, and 4C0 means obviously I did not wanted any woman. So this is your first option, plus 6C3 multiplied by 4C1, then 6C2 multiply by 4C2, then 6C1 multiply by 4C3, and lastly, what we will have is 6C0 multiply by 4C4. Now, when we just solve this, we know that 64 and 4C0 when solved will be 15. 63 into 4C1 when solved will be 80. 62 4C2 when solved in calculator will be 90. This will be 24 and this should be 1. So what we can do is we can just write down 15. We can write down 15 plus 80 plus 90 plus 24 plus 1. So if we just sum up everything, that means when we are solving separately, the answer will remain same. That was 210, and this represented what? 10C4. So 10C4 is also 210, and when we just solve this separately, we got this as 210 again. Okay, Ji. So moving further to the other example of the case number 3. Let's say select a team of 4 people which consists of at least one woman. Now you need at least one woman, which clearly identifies one particular thing, that at least one woman means that we need woman as greater than equal to 1. Woman as greater than equal to 1 now. That means this is your restriction in this. So if this is restriction, so that means if this is restriction, so let's just continue with this. So W was what? Greater than equal to 1. Since the question was clear, very much clear, that we need to have at least one particular woman. So W needs to be greater than equal to what? 1. That means in the combination or in the view of the statement example given, we need to have at least one woman. So we had the option that were 4 men, 0 women. We had the option of 3 men and 1 woman. We had the option of 2 men and 2 women. We had the option of 1 man, 3 women, and we also had the option of 0 men and 4 women. Now, when it says at least, when the question clearly identify at least one woman, so at least one woman means this. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, but it cannot be 0. So considering this, you need to understand that 3 should be 6C3 into 4C1, whereas 2 men and 2 women should be 6C2 into 4C2. 1 man, 3 women should be 6C1 into 4C3 and 6C0 into 4C4. There should be what? 0 men and 4 women. So considering the same options, so what do we have is 80 plus 90 plus 24 plus 1. The answer for this should be 195. Similarly, if we just look at the question, it says select a team of 4 people which consists of at least one woman. So this also applies to one particular thing, and that is that, let's say, or. total minus 4 men and 0 women. Total minus 4 men and 0 women. Only 4 men and 0 women is not required. And the total was what? 10C4. Total was what? 10C4 without any restriction. And what is the restriction? That 0 women cannot be taken into consideration. So 6C4 into what? 4C0. So 210 minus 15 will also give me what? 195. So there are two ways to do this. Either do it through the options or do it through the normal formula, which consists of the total minus what? 4 men and 0 women. So this was part 2. Select a team of 4 which consists of at least 1 woman. So same case number 3. Now we have example number 3. The case is same, which says 6 men and 4 women. And the point is that we select a team which consists of at most 4 women. And the team is of 4 people, since it is the continuation of the question initially of lecture 3, that means case 3 team member selection. 6 men and 4 women, we are selecting team of 4. So select a team of 4 which consists of at most 3 women. At most 3 women mean maximum 3 women. Maximum 3 women means we can have 4 men and 0 women, or we can have 3 men and 1 woman. We can have 2 men and 2 women, and we can have 1 man and 3 women. But we can't have 4 women part here, because 4 women part does not allow if the question says at most 3. At most 3 means maximum 3. So if we just work down through the solution, this should be 64 multiplied by 4C0 plus 6C3 multiplied by 4C1 plus 6C2 multiplied by 4C2 plus 6C1 multiplied by 4C3. And if we just add this thing up, this should be 15 plus 80 plus 90 plus 24, which should be equal to 209. Now, knowing the fact that since this is showing the complete options in it, we can easily say that total minus option of what? Option of 0 men and 4 women, because you can't have 4 women. At most 3 means you need to have 3 women in it. So 4 women option is not there. 0 men and 4 women. So can we just say that 10C4 will give me total, and 6C0 is 6C0 into what? 4C4, which means 4C4 is 1. 10C4 minus what? 1. And 10C4 is 210 minus 1, which is again 209. So considering this, that select a team of 4 people which consists of at most 3 women, leaving the 4th woman out, because at most 3 women mean maximum women will be 3. So there are 2 ways. Either we do it through the complete option. Complete option will have 4 men, 0 women, 3 men, 1 woman, 2 men, 2 women, 1 man, 3 women, or total minus what? 0 men minus 4 women. So now the question says select a team of 4 which consists of at least 3 women. It's the same case 3. Now what at least 3 women mean, that we need to have minimum of 3 women. So that means 1 man and 3 women, because minimum requirement is 3 women, or we can have 0 men and 4 women. So this should be 6C1 into 4C3 plus 6C0 into 4C4. So 4C4 is 1, whereas this should be 24. So at least 3 women, and will be 3 women or 4 women option. So this will be 25 ways of creating what? At least 3 women team. So this was case number 3 and lecture number 3 as well.